Right Honorable Speaker and colleagues, as a shadow minister, what is even more concerning is first, the line minister for foreign affairs is ever missing. And we have two other state ministers who are equally missing. Secondly, Right Honorable Speaker and colleagues, when it comes to DRC, I've raised it on this floor before, and I want to raise it now. That as we discuss the exchange of prisoners, as we speak now, we don't have a substantive ambassador to the Democratic Republic of Congo. The ambassador who was posted 3 years ago, possibly, was never accredited by the DRC. When we are discussing and the government is briefing us that there is negotiation, it also, we must receive it with the lacuna within the representation we have. With the lack of a substantive ambassador to DRC means our diplomatic efforts are questionable. We can't tell who is handling what and who is answerable to the government of Uganda in terms of our negotiation. Probably when we face such a scenario, we must ask ourselves, and we must ask the Foreign Affairs Ministry. Last time the Minister of East African Affairs was here, she conceded to that fact on the floor of Parliament here. To date, we don't know what action has been taken to ensure that we have effective diplomatic representation as a country, and possibly also for DRC to send a substantive ambassador to Uganda. I haven't heard of any. And this is quite alarming. We also want the Minister of Foreign Affairs to come out strongly and talk about the prisoners, the Uganda prisoners we have in Cairo. We have thousands in Cairo who are detained in the Middle East, those stranded in Dubai and in India, among others. Recently, we are making cries for those who had been detained in rebel hands within Myanmar. It had to be the efforts of the International Organization for Migration to bail us. But the Minister of Foreign Affairs hasn't substantively come to this floor to tell us what has been done and what is being done in terms of Uganda, and equally to negotiate our diplomatic presence and protection for our country. And this is equally related to failure to negotiate protective bilateral labor agreements, because largely many of our prisoners in DRC are fishermen. It's very alarming.
I think it would be very important for the Minister of Foreign Affairs to come and update this House on the on Ugandans held in foreign prisons abroad, and if there are efforts being made to help them return home. Okay, that does not mean we've said go and bring them back home. No, the efforts, and if there is any support we can give on action taken report, this is where the minister would now bring a detailed report. Because as of now, I don't see how you can justify DRC. You leave China, you leave Saudi, you leave South Africa, you leave, and countries always do this. They negotiate for their prisoners, either through swaps or what. Honorable Boss, Minister of Defense.
The information that I would love to give to this House, which has been in circulation, and I would assume that the other minister, shadow minister, should be knowing. I've moved around, including in Kinshasa. I've gone to China also. Apparently, not everyone who happens to be in those prisons are Ugandans. So there is a deeper work that probably it will need the works of the intervention of the two committees, probably, of internal and defense with the foreign affairs. But in Congo, it's very, very clear that some of the things are complicated, and it is not true that we don't have somebody there who is working. Mr. Ambassador Twaha Matanta, I was with him even just last week. Here is doing the work, so we shouldn't dismiss them for not doing. You don't. wait for the minister.